we have been we have been said to record and just submit it to college actually.
किन हो त्यो भने कलेजले थाहा छ सर?
Sorry,
कलेजले किन भनेको
So
हामीलाई
what's the
थाहा छ?
purpose of that? Okay?
maybe they have their own way. Let that we can record, isn't that? We can just record. They can see anytime whenever they want. Like that. Hey, it's our duty, responsibility. I teach you, you listen to me. Whenever I ask you, you have to respond, isn't that? That's all. Okay. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's continue. So here we are just to think about the order of our topic sentence. Topic sentence can come in any part of a paragraph. Normally, in students' writing, we can find in the beginning of a paragraph. But let's see, it can be somehow different. Inductive order. In inductive order, what happens? This is an order in which the author moves from particular statement to the general statement. The author gives details, arguments, or illustrations, hey, which lead finally to the conclusion. In other words, the topic sentence usually comes at the end of a paragraph. That is inductive order. Means a writer can be writing a paragraph with the help of example, elaboration, isn't that, justification, and at last only can say so or therefore, and topic sentence comes over there. That is inductive order. We have got now deductive order. It is very common in students writing, in academics writing. Normally write topic sentence, then we go elaborating it, giving examples, and then justifying it. It states an idea which it then illustrated. Hey, which is then illustrated. It should be easy, sorry. Deductive order means, already as I said, it starts from topic sentence and we go with supporting details, explanation, elaboration, exemplifications, and at last conclusion. Deductive order. Then we go with next, that is question to answer order. Sometime question can be asked, and those question answering that particular question, it becomes a paragraph. It can be called question to answer order. Class, are you getting me or not?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Good. Okay. Similarly, we can just have next one, that is exposition. Number 2 and number 4 are to some extent same. Where we write topic sentence in the beginning of a paragraph, we keep on writing and writing. The entire paragraph is then devoted to an explanation of the topic sentence. It is normal way. Deductive order also can be called as exposition order. Starting from topic sentence, then moving forward with elaboration, exemplification, and illustrations, and so on. Time order. In time order, what happens? We can be writing or describing event. One event can be described, then it goes to next event. One event can be one paragraph, next event, next paragraph. Hey, so it can be in time order that takes the form of paragraph, then at last a sheet. So every paragraph can have one event described. That is called time order. Number 6, comparison and contrast. When you are writing about two distinct topics, issues, places, things, or any two, means in short, we are writing about two subjects, that can be comparison and contrast. We can compare, we can show the similarities, sometimes differences, and we can develop into a paragraph. Okay, for example, if you are going to write a short paragraph, a very short paragraph about the life in town and in village, hey, you can talk. Just one paragraph only. Here. The life in the village in comparison to city is a bit difficult. How is it difficult? Bring out some references, examples, elaborations, and illustrations that will be comparison contrast path. There's only one event you have to bring over here. Write down that will become a paragraph. Comparison and contrast. Number 7, enumeration. In enumeration, what happens? Sometimes we can be using firstly, secondly, thirdly, or finally, etc. like that. Have you ever tried writing like this? Have you ever?
No, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. When you start firstly, then that first describing first incident, event, circumstance can be a single paragraph. Firstly, one paragraph done. Secondly, another paragraph done. Finally, next, and at last we conclude. This is called enumeration order. We have got next space order. Hmm. In space order, sometime what we do, we describe about some place. We describe about some object, thing. And while describing those thing and object, it becomes paragraph or paragraphs. For example, you might have heard about John Keats, a very famous poet who died in 1932, just in the age of 26. He had written one poem, Ode to Grecian Urn. And in that urn, there is to be picture like that. This urn looks really pretty. There is a picture of a cowboy singing a song. What he says, those song cannot be heard. What is this? Then he says, heart melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Then he finds another object over there. A person is chased by another with a stick. Then poet says, hey, don't worry, don't run. You need not panic because that person will never find you. So John Keats uses one kind of imaginative power to describe that Grecian urn. Likewise, we can describe about any place or anything. It is called space order. Are you getting or not? Class? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's nice. Good. Let's move ahead. We went through unity. Then let's go towards cohesion or coherence. In a paragraph, every sentence should logically follow from the one preceding it. Thus, every sentence should be linked to the one that went before. Means paragraph can have how many sentences? How many should be there? In a paragraph, how many sentences should you include as a student?
9.
Maximum 9, isn't that?
Yes, sir.
Minimum 6, maximum 9. So when you are writing those sentences, they all should be interconnected. We got 2 examples with 2 different paragraphs, didn't we? One was about fear, right? And we got that well formed paragraph. Then we had next backhand shot of tennis. Somehow it was not well organized. We talked like that. We discussed in that way to find out that how paragraphs should be well written, well constructed like that. Let us see. This provides coherence to the paragraph and there four significant devices which help to just being coherence, namely pronoun, repetition, synonyms, and connectives. We know very well a pronoun is used as a substitute for a noun. And this always serves as a reminder of the noun in the earlier sentence. We cannot be repeating the same noun. So, we can use pronouns to denote those nouns used earlier. And those pronouns can be bringing coherence in the paragraph. Then we can talk about the repetition. The repetition of some keywords or phrases in paragraph serves not only to make the paragraph coherent but also to emphasize the author's point of view. Some terms should be repeated, not all the terms, because the repeated terms can give emphasis on writer's intention of writing the paragraph. Simply, we can say that writing paragraph perfectly means just thinking about many terms, many things over there. Number 3, synonyms. We know synonyms are there to replace another word. Synonyms are substitutes for word already used and have similar meaning. That means if we keep repeating same kind of word, it will sound what odd or monotonous. Sometimes it doesn't give good, doesn't add beauty in the paragraph. That's why we should always be alert about using what synonymous words. And while writing on a screen, if that be desktop, laptop, or any computer where we can write, we can replace words. Can't we? Yes or no? Yes or no? Hello class. Respond please. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hazır sir, hazır sir.
Keep responding. Number 4, connectives. You know very well that while writing sentences, if we keep using connectives, like however, even though, besides, hey, these can add beauty in your writing. So, there are words or phrases which usually occur at the beginning of a sentence to show the relationship between the new sentence and the preceding sentence. So, we should be able to find out or use proper connectives to show connection between previous sentence and exceeding sentence, preceding and exceeding sentences. Is that okay? Hello, class. Fine?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. Let's continue. Now let's go with emphasis. In paragraph, we often emphasis. That means it means force or prominence. It means making important points stand out in the paragraph. It is essential because when a person reads a paragraph, he should know at once what the author is writing about. Also, the most important ideas should stand out. There are 5 devices which help to give proper emphasis to significant ideas in the paragraph. What are those? Let us see. Number 1, balance. Balance here means to give statement balance of form, that is, to make various parts of the sentence parallel to one another. Balance matters to give emphasis in a paragraph. Number 2, emphasis position. This device is used to give emphasis to the most important idea in the paragraph. Usually, the most important portion of paragraph is the last sentence, and the second most emphasis part is the first sentence. Last sentence gives conclusion, and from conclusion we can know what are the finding, or what is the main finding. And the second important is what? Topic sentence that we start with. Topic sentence can give idea what you are going to write about. Number 3, space. It means giving gap. This is the most commonly used device. It simply means to give more space to the emphasized. When we emphasize one thing, we should not be correspondingly bringing another also. We have to give some space, some gap, and it can add beauty in your writing. Likewise, we can talk about repetition. Yes, as discussed earlier. Yes, emphasis may be achieved either by repeating some keywords or by introducing synonyms of words used earlier. However, repetition as a device for giving emphasis to an idea should be used judiciously. Means we should be alert while using repetition, because repeated words can be giving emphasis, can be giving significant stress on that one, and that can give us some idea what the repetition, what is the intention of the writer is over here to write about. 5, contrast. Sometimes we just can be using contrast, negative side of an issue. And yes, while using negative side of issue, we can talk about counter argument. One thing can be said, we can go opposite of that one, then we just give counter argument. Again, we come with refutation. Keep in mind, refutation means supporting previous idea. The idea comes, that's fine. We go against that one, contrast, that is called counter argument. Again, we support the previous one, that is called refutation. So, emphasis has 5 devices. Those can keep significant meaning while writing a paragraph. So I hope you got idea about writing a paragraph. Yes or no?